Call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening and welcome to the regular, albeit a week early, meeting of the school board, November. First item on the agenda is adjustments to the agenda, Mr. Gibbon.
Yeah, so I'd like to add is item 8D, an overnight robotics club trip to the Indiana First Lego League Challenge Robotics Semi-State.
Okay. Can I get a motion to amend the agenda?
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is public comments regarding the agenda items. Do you have anyone that would like to make a comment on one of tonight's agenda items? Hearing none, all in favor? Or hearing none, no action needed. Next item, recognitions, Mr. Good.
Yeah, so we will first, as I'd indicated earlier, by adding an agenda item is our middle school. And please help me if I'm wrong, Mrs. Cup. Our robotics club, they finished in second place out of 27 teams in 2 different categories. So a rather large competition. I think this is the first time that we've advanced, and since the Lego, the robotics competition has grown, they've added a semi-state competition. So this is a pretty big honor and a nice thing for our kids to be able to participate in. So I wanted to give Mrs. Welliver, the team, recognition on that. And then I know that our Deer Meadow Student of the Month couldn't make it this evening, but I would like to move forward to Ridpath and Ms. Ward.
So our October student month is Savannah State. She was nominated by Mrs. Harvey, the kindergarten teacher. Mrs. Harvey said she is a star student every day. She consistently makes good choices and is a great help to others. She listens and pays attention to instructions, so she's trying her best. On the rare occasion that Savannah may get unfocused, she corrects her behavior quickly. She is a great friend to her classmates and helps her teacher take the class really smoothly. She's a joy to have in class. And she's a successful teacher. She's happy and beyond.
We have the class. And we have the backdrop set up for anyone that'd like to take a photo. It's just through the door and it's kind of out by the main reception area. Mr. Covert?
All right. Busy Lady by Katrina Evans. Busy Lady is a kind, creative student with a good work ethic and a great sense of humor. She's a great writer and a good puzzle solver. She has many friends and keeps a positive attitude all day. She's a great classroom. So Busy Lady.
Ms. Cup.
Middle school, we have Abigail Novak. She was nominated by her 7th grade teachers. Her art teacher says Abby goes above and beyond in, band first. Goes above and beyond in band. We have an ESL student in class, and Abby works with her one-on-one each week to help her teach her and keep her on track. Abby's very giving and kind to her peers. She's definitely a wonderful example for band class. In art, she says, I love having Abigail in art class this year. She has confidence and fearlessness that is balanced with kindness and thoughtfulness. Abigail has original ideas, is willing to push the boundaries in art and try new techniques. I especially love when Abigail participates in discussions and volunteers to read out loud because she has a great sense of humor and brings joy to class. Mr. Wells says Abigail is a hard worker and diligent student. Her great attitude and sense of humor makes her a pleasure to have in class. Mrs. Roberson says, I'm so excited that Abigail is going to be our next student of the month. Abigail is a student who enters the room with the best attitude and great big smile on her face every day. She gladly participates in class and enjoys being engaged throughout class time. Abigail's dedication is evident in her daily homework, and it's just a pleasure to have her.
Mrs. Goodpaster.
Our student of the month is Brianna Schneider. She is involved in our life skills program. She was nominated by 4 or 5 individuals this month. She has been one, we have a student that has frequent seizures, and she has been one that's been staying calm every morning and calling for adults. And she really just kind of starts running the show, starts telling people students to go get things and go get items, go get adults before we adults are able to get down there. She's very calm. She's respected by others. Everyone is really proud of her, and her students and her peers respect her. So we're super proud of Brianna.
Yeah, it was one.
The principals conference is taking place right now, and so that's why you don't see any of our principals here, but you see some of our other administrators here now.
Okay. Well, next item on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda, which consists of meeting minutes, executive session minutes from October 23rd, regular meeting minutes from October 23rd, special meeting minutes from both November 2nd and November 6th, allowance of claims, financial report, and personnel reports, parts 1 and 2.
Yep. So Mrs. Romer's not here this evening, but I'd be happy to answer any questions regarding the claims. Obviously, you can see the financial report in your packet. I know she reached out to the board about any specific questions, but there's really nothing unusual besides a couple of payrolls, the prepays, certainly the claims. There's nothing too out of the ordinary or nothing that jumps off the map. The most important thing is you can see the bank, I think it's called the bank to balance statement. Excuse me, bank to fund balance report, and you can see the total of all funds, $7,682,481.46, matches the grand total of the banks of $7,682,481.46, which is a positive thing that we balance. You can see a copy of the transfers report. Again, nothing too out of the ordinary there. Some for school lunch. We have our traditional education fund to operations fund transfer, and then just bank to bank transfer. So that's listed for you as well. You can see a copy of the Bond 21 and Bond 2022 expenditures to date, just again for your total. And I jumped over, obviously, the fund report. But if anybody had any questions on any of those things, I'd be happy to answer those questions. Things continue to trend well. We're doing a good job of taking care of our funds. So outside of that, I would recommend approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Do anybody have any questions, comments? Nope. Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next is reports. First from the Greencastle Teachers Association.
Yep, so they did reach out to me. They have nothing new to share this month. If I could move into the assistant superintendent report. Mrs. McPherson wanted me to share GCSC is one of only 72 Indiana school districts and the only one in Putnam County that has been awarded the full funding of the competitive Science of Reading grant in the amount of $149,376. Essentially, this opened up. They gave schools 3 weeks to apply for it and submit their proposals. And this is going to allow us to support our teachers and students and purchase some decodable texts for grades K to 2, purchase some writing resources because we've identified writing as a need pretty much across the district. And it's also going to provide some funding for some teacher administrator training so that we can more effectively implement, facilitate best literacy practices. So it's a really positive thing to further enhance our updated reading curriculum. And then on top of that, and you heard about it just a minute ago with just the robotics club, is that Greencastle Middle School was also awarded a K-12 competitive robotics grant. So Mrs. Welliver applied for the grant and was one of 168 teams that was awarded funding. And again, the only Putnam County team with this distinction. It'll help fund the fee into the competition as well as help support purchasing materials for their project and presentation. So this is we've advanced to the state competition twice in 5 years. Our school is participating, and the team earned Core Values Award at the regional competition in West Lafayette in 2022. So we started off earning some smaller accolades, and as you can see earlier with the overnight trip, now we're making a lot of progress and just doing a good job meeting the district STEM initiative. So overall, very, very positive. And then under my report, again, obviously just want to wish everybody a great Thanksgiving break that's upcoming. A couple of small things. We expect to start preparing and serving meals in the high school cafeteria in December, right around December 11th. And then just a couple of items for the board. We're going through essentially a food service audit through the DOE right now. And then we were also notified by the State Board of Accounts about an audit that will be taking place. So we continue to be really busy, but we're continuing to kind of work through things and perform well. So just a couple of updates for you.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda, old business. We have no old business, so that brings us to new business. The first item being an approval request for some compensation adjustments.
Yeah, so during a special meeting, right, it's only been a short period of time, this month we approved the collective bargaining agreement for our teachers. And so now, as is customary, we have some compensation adjustments for all of our other employee groups. And the specifics were listed in your packet, but I'll just read them. Classified salaried employees, a 5% increase for employees hired prior to July 1, 2023. Classified hourly employees, a 75-cent per hour increase for employees hired prior to July 1 of 2023. Bus drivers, a 5% increase for all bus drivers hired prior to July 1, 2023. The high school athletic director is not a part of the CBA, so we're treating him like the other classified salaried employees and proposing a 5% increase in his compensation. And then with the administrators, covering the cost of health insurance premium single or family for all but $1 for the WVWCI Plan 6, or essentially the cost of up to the Plan 6 since open enrollment is closed and people are might be on other plans. But essentially that kind of caps that at that specified dollar amount. And so this would be the administrator's increase for this year and next year. And that would put us in relative terms with how administrators are treated in neighboring district and hopefully help us keep ours intact. But overall, a very good adjustment for all of our employee groups.
I would think so, yes. Okay, sounds good to me. Can I get a motion to approve?
I will make a motion. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Anybody have any questions or discussion, comments? No? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item is an approval request to approve the 2024-2025 academic year calendar.
Yeah, so kind of as I've shared in the board previously, just kind of a little bit of my frustration with pretty much when it comes down to alignment of spring break with the other county schools. And moving it from the 4th week to the 3rd week this year, which we did to stay in alignment, and now they want to move it back to the last week. But in looking at that, it's pretty much just a corresponding dates calendar as far as any other breaks or holidays. I think that just with sharing students with Area 30, I do think it would be best to put it in the 4th, the last full week in March. Hopefully they'll be willing to kind of keep that in alignment moving forwards. So I listed an A and a B. Essentially, they're the same with the exception of where spring break falls. So I would make a recommendation that the board adopt version A of our 24-25 school calendar so we can post that and get that out for our families.
In the past, we have approved 2 years ago. Is there a reason we don't do that?
Yeah, so my first year here, we did approve a 2-year. I made an error where one of the fall breaks aligned and put us out of alignment with the rest of the schools, and then they actually flip-flopped the spring breaks. And so my concern is if we approve a 2-year that potentially we'll be out of alignment with them. We won't have the opportunity to talk through things. But I wouldn't be opposed to adopting a 25-26 calendar earlier on the process. I pretty much have one already created, which is pretty much a corresponding dates calendar because we know we have to get 180 days in, and we know where the holidays fall. I'm not opposed to that moving forward.
No, I think I would prefer to do that. I mean, it does
Sure.
give families advanced planning. And
Yep.
I guess I would take it a step further than Mike. I'd like to see us go about 4 years out and then tell the other schools to align with us and also allow any other kind of, or don't. Make your pick. This back and forth seems ridiculous right now. So, because the Area 30, I think we're going to have to go with A, but I don't think Carroll's other schools.
But I would agree. I'd make us
Sure.
put us out in front there. If they want to align with us, they can.
Yep. I can bring a 25-26 calendar to you.
That'd be great. Okay, well, let's go ahead and approve this one tonight.
I'll make a motion we approve.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion?
Nope.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item is an approval request for 4 donations. First being Putnam County Community Foundation to Greencastle Community School Corporation in the amount of $15,000. Next being from Josh Byes to Greencastle High School Girls Basketball Program in the amount of $1,000. Then the Putnam County Community Foundation to Deer Meadow Primary in the amount of $3,250. And Putnam County Community Foundation to Ridpath Primary in the amount of $3,000.
I will make a quick motion to
Yes.
accept all those funds, thankfully. That's what I know.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, other than thank you to all?
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Last item under new business is the approval of an overnight robotics club trip.
Yep. So Mrs. Welliver did submit just today That's why you don't have it in your packet. Essentially, kind of the itinerary, the background information, including obviously required chaperones for this overnight trip. So I think we've covered all of our bases with that. But since it is overnight, it does require board approval. So my recommendation that the board approve of this opportunity.
And where are they going?
They're going to be going to Evansville. There are two choices, Fort Wayne and Evansville, and I see that it's Evansville.
Sounds good to me.
Good on those guys. We have to approve it because they moved on, right? So
Absolutely.
I make a motion to approve.
Second. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item is other business. Does anyone have any other business they'd like to bring up? Discuss.
I'm not supposed to bring this up because I voted against it. But I did think I would check to see on our buses.
You should have been here last month, I did.
Or did you?
We took possession of our of two of the yellow ones. We're still waiting on the others.
Okay. Sounds great. Anybody else?
No, sir.
It's maybe not necessarily other business, but I know we were going to have the bleacher company come and look at ways to kind of secure those bleacher piles a little bit if we made any headway there.
Yeah, that's on my list to follow up with Troy on. I actually thought about that this morning because I haven't heard anything. So I'm going to circle back.
That would be great to have something secured there by next fall season.
Sure.
Or for track too, I
Yep.
guess. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, next item is adjournment.
Make a motion we close.
Second. Okay, motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Well, thank you both for coming. And Corey, you too. And Tony.